Okay, so picking up, sorry. We're picking up where we left off. Before I was telling you that I wanted to show you how to move things from one artboard to the next, and it's simply a copy and paste process. If we look here, I have designed two on the right layer, but I have it on the wrong artboard. I want it to be on artboard too. So you simply marquee. Marquee just means select the object. You edit cut. I'm sorry, I copied. And you edit cut to get rid of it. It's still there, but you just want to paste it on the right artboard. So I'm going to click on artboard 2, and I'm going to do edit. I'm just going to do a paste in place right now. Paste in place. If you notice, now it's on artboard 2, design 2. Okay. Now let's look at our last design. Our last design looks like this. It's much simpler. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied. It's much simpler than the other three designs because you're simply making um, one square and then you're changing the size of the square via the transform again. So let's look at the directions that I've given the students. I actually have the directions here in the canvas over here. I like to give written directions as well as videos so that students can get through the actual project. If you notice here, first we're going to create a square inside of a square. And I said we drew last class, but if you're just starting because you're new, you didn't draw this last class. It says align it horizontally and vertically to the center of the artboard. So let's look at that. Focus on my artboard. And I'm just moving these out of order than the original just to go through the tutorial. And we can straighten it up so I can show you how to copy and paste and move things around. Okay, with the rectangle tool, once again, no fill, just a stroke. You can create a square two ways. Simply click, hold, and drag so that it fits the artboard, which is a 5x5 artboard. Or with the tool selected, click once, enter 5 by 5, press OK, and then move your square into place. This gives us a frame, and this is the first piece that we're working with. So now I'm going to look back at the directions. It says create a square inside the square we drew last class, which means we need two squares. So I'm going to simply clone this one, size it down a little bit, and place it in the center. Now notice that I told the students to align it horizontally and vertically to the center of the artboard, which means they've gone over it before. So let's look. In order to do any alignment, you have to have more than one object selected. So I'll marquee both the squares. If you look in your control panel here, you should see these little icons, or you'll see the word align. If you see the word align, you click on the word and then you see these particular icons. So I told them to make sure that they've aligned these squares horizontally and vertically to the artboard. So in order to make sure that it's aligning to the artboard, you want to click on this little icon here that says align to artboard. It may say something different if someone was using it prior to you. They could have aligned to selection or aligned to key object. You want to make sure you select align to artboard. When you're aligning to artboard, that just means it's using the artboard as a reference or an origin in order to align the objects straight. So let's look. We're going to align I'm trying to get it away from there. Okay. We're going to align horizontally to the center. Notice I got mine kind of perfect. It didn't do any moving because I kind of got it in the middle. Let's look at the vertical. I didn't do bad at all. So let me move this so you can actually see what happens. Okay. All right. When I align it horizontally to the center, you notice that it moves either left or right towards the artboard. If I do align vertically, we'll notice that it'll go up and down. So I'll click once and notice that it moved it up so that it's in the center of the artboard. But that's how it works. Moves everything to the left or the right or up and down so that it's aligned to a specific object or to the artboard. In this case, it was the artboard. All right, let's look at the next directions. With the new square still selected, go to Object Scale. Enter 90% for the uniform scale and press Copy. Then press Command plus D on your keyboard to transform again. Alright, let's see what all that means. So we know we have two squares. We want to select the second square. I told the students to go to Object, Transform, and Scale. And I wanted them to use the uniform here. Yes. Let's look and see. Make sure. Enter 90 degrees for the uniform scale and press Copy. Object, Transform, Scale, 90%, and Copy. So you automatically have another square. The next direction says, then press Command plus D on your keyboard to transform again. So right now, Illustrator has already recorded a transformation that you made. When you use Command plus D, you're telling it to transform again according to the percentages or the constraints that you entered for the first transformation. So Command D, make sure I have Command plus D, and make sure you have the object selected. You notice it gave me another square. And I'm sure my next directions is to continue to press Command plus D until you fill the whole space or the artboard with squares. So Command D, Command D, Command D, and I keep going. And close it. There we go. So we did a complete transformation over and over again in order to create this design. And let's look to see what we have. Here are our finished designs. So we have this one here. Now notice something's wrong. I've selected my my design and notice that it's on the wrong layer. It's still on Design 2's layer, and I need to have it on Design 4. Sorry, I need to actually have these switched. So let's do that, because if we look back, we have Design 1, Design 1, Design 2, Design 3, Design 4. Look back, I have these two switched and they need to be moved around. And you actually have to move these. I know, and you're trying to reorder your designs as far as the layers are concerned. You simply click, hold, and drag the layers. But that's not what we're doing. We're actually moving artwork. So at this particular time, you can actually group your objects or your lines so that when you deselect or you select again, it's selecting all of your lines. So I'll go to Object and Group for that design. I'll go to, make sure I have everything selected. Don't miss any lines. Object, Group. So now if I select one line, the whole design is selected. All right, so this design here is still on design 2, which is fine. It's on the right layer as far as this is concerned, your layers are concerned, but it's residing on artboard 4. So we want to go to edit, cut. I'm going to move this out of the way since I know that this is where I want to move that. I'll select artboard 2 since this is where it's supposed to be, and I go to edit, paste in place. There we go. This is still on design 2 when it needs to be on design 4. So I'll do edit, cut. I'll click on my design 4 and my artboard 4 and go to edit, paste in place. Still on artboard 4, still in design 4. It just needs to be dragged into the correct place. Little nudge there. And there we have it. We have design 1, design 2, design 3, design 4. Just so you can see the artboards, I'll turn these off. You have artboard 1, artboard 2, artboard 3, and artboard 4. And there you have it. You're done.